I want to make a video about the Tevo Tarantula 3D printer that I got from AliExpress. It cost me about $350 Canadian, and that's including shipping from DHL and duties. The shipping took only 7 days. It could have been 5 if DHL didn't screw up. But other than that, I really like this 3D printer. It's my first 3D printer and it is amazing. I know the other cheap option is the Prusa i3. I did a lot of research about that too, but I came to the conclusion with this one because I asked on the Facebook group and everybody's been telling me like, oh, go get a aluminum frame, don't go acrylic because it's just gonna break. And I'm really happy I went with the aluminum frame because this 3D printer is quite sturdy for 350 bucks. And just down here I can see like the acrylic is bending a little bit, is warping, and I can't imagine a whole entire 3D printer made out of acrylic just to be like bending and warping. Like that's gonna suck when you want to do like fine prints or you want to print really fast. Like the printer's gonna shake a little bit. The only thing I added, actually no, I added quite a lot of stuff. I 3D printed these legs to support the y-axis, and I also printed these thumb wheels so it's not a bitch when it comes to leveling the bed, because those little nuts they provided are really tiny. So this makes it super easy for me. And also I 3D printed this mount, LCD mount. All of this you can find on Thingiverse. Like Thingiverse is loaded with Tevo Tarantula custom design, whatever, from all these people. Another thing I really highly recommend is buying a LED strip. I bought mine from Amazon, I think, for $5, and it just adds life to your 3D printer. It took me about 3 days to build this and maybe like a week to learn about 3D printing and all the different settings and whatnot. Like this is my failure bucket. All these spaghetti, yeah, I know. This is ABS. I do not like printing in ABS. So when you do tune it and get everything right, it is amazing. Like the print quality, like I showed to my parents and my family, they're amazed as well. The printing surface is 200 millimeter by 200 millimeter by 200 millimeter, and that's a nice size for me because you can buy, I believe, a 200 by 200 by 280, which is, I don't know, I don't need that big, because I was thinking of buying this 3D printer to print stuff for my quadcopter stuff, like mounts and whatnot. So, oh, like right here. See, I printed those camera mounts for this QX95. I can talk about some of the problems I had with this guy. So I had problems with the skipping extruder. So what happens is, as I try to feed filament into the tube, what happens was either there was enough power and it will just skip and like jump backwards, or I had a clog in the hot end and it wouldn't allow any more filament to be pushed. And that was really annoying, and I figured out why. So at first it was, you had to adjust the power on the extruder. So you had to put more power into the stepper motor so it can push the filament through the tube and down to the hot end. But then that worked for like a couple of days, and then what happened was I've been printing some, I forgot, I think it was something, but it required a lot of retraction. So that would push the filament through and then push it back down. So then when it moves from point A to point B, it doesn't have this like spider web effect. So when I was doing that, it kept pulling and pushing this PTFE tube, and that caused it to pull this out, and then it created a clog in the middle between the hot end and that. Yeah, what I recommend is kind of DIY, but what I did was actually super glued it down so it doesn't go up and down anymore. So is this. So the power supply that Tevo provided was this guy here. It's 12 volts 20A, and it runs quite hot when the 3D printer is running. So I decided to add a 12 volt computer fan on top, and it just stays warm. Also be careful, the silicone wires that goes to the 3D printer does get kind of hot, so you gotta be very careful on how you mount your wires into the printer and the power supply. Other than that, this printer, again, it prints amazing for its price. $350, not acrylic. As of now, I don't know where you can find anything cheaper than this, but this reliable and not acrylic. Yeah, thanks for watching.